Hey everyone, this is Bridget, and today we're going to be talking about how to discern, how to tell the difference between your spirit guides and negative entities or other spirit beings. Because how can you tell the difference? And this is a really important topic because there are so many kinds of spiritual beings. It's like this spiritual soup that's running through us and with us all the time. So then how do we discern these voices, these impulses, this guidance? How do we understand if it's false guidance or true guidance? So that's what we're going to be getting into in this video. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thanks so much for coming, and please subscribe and hit the bell button so you get notifications every time I do new videos. So let's get into it. We'll be looking at this discernment through the Rosicrucian perspective from Rudolf Steiner's work, and this perspective I have known for quite a few years now, and it's really helped me on my spiritual path to discern who the freak I'm talking to, as well as who other spiritual teachers are talking to, who certain other people that I engage with are talking to. You can begin to get a feel for it. And this is a very simplified version just to begin with, so we can begin to at least get a few different perspectives. So the beings we're wanting to engage with are those on the middle path, those in the space of oneness, beyond the point of duality, of good and evil, or any kind of other polarizing energies. In that space of oneness, representatives of these beings would be Archangel Michael, as well as the Christ energy. Those are on this central pillar path. Now, on the two sides, this discerning frequency we're going to be talking about are two different types of beings that represent the two different kind of polarizing energies. And this was well known in early Christianity, but they dumbed it down or wanted to hide things, not sure which one. And so it's turned into this idea of good and evil, or Satan and Christ, this good and bad energy, rather than this polarizing energy towards more spiritual and towards more physical. And then there's a lot of variations in between, and there's a lot of different traditions around Earth that connect with these beings in these other ways. So before we dive into the two types of polarizing beings that we're going to look at today, I wanted to say that it's really important to develop the spiritual discernment, and it's a very important conversation to have in our spiritual New Age community. And I looked up the searches, and actually no one searches this discernment. So what does that mean, right, for our community? Because we need to be able to have this greater understanding of what's going on, so we're getting a really clear picture of the spirit world. So thus, I recommend sharing this idea and talking about it to your friends, to your family, sharing this video so that they can understand what's going on, and it starts to become commonplace communication in our everyday culture. I'm taking a course from Robert Gilbert, and it was one of the things that he had said was very important, and so I wanted to do this video kind of as a community service so we can broaden the scope of our understanding of the spirit realm. So the two beings on these other side of this middle path are the Luciferic beings and the Ahrimanic beings. Now, you may have heard of these and have certain connotations of them, but the idea is, in this tradition, through this lens, is that the Luciferic beings are actually the light bearers. They don't see the value or understand the benefits of earthly life, and so what they tend to do is then pull humans, guide us towards kind of non-physicality in a way. So this is kind of detachment, or this is all an illusion, and kind of come out of this. So as I'm going through these kind of qualities or characteristics, you can check in and go, oh, I've had that thought before, or I've had that guidance before. And it's really important as we go about this that, yes, they have kind of these certain intentions that are more on the negative side because they're not on the balanced place. But the thing is having these tendencies towards polarity teaches us about that polarity so that we can understand what center is. So it kind of shows us contrast, as well as going towards this other side or this polarity. It's helpful to have gone into it because then you can quite easily see what that was, and you can feel that feeling so that you don't go towards that certain energy anymore, and you can check yourself. So it's actually helpful, and they're actually helping us in our evolution because discernment is one of the keys to our spiritual awakening. So they're definitely of assistance from that perspective, but their guidance is more so on the false end. So going back to this Luciferic energy, it is on the spectrum of this illusion, or kind of stepping out of the physical. These beings would come to us or talk to us and say, you are so special, or have this aggrandized energy towards who we are on our path. And so if there's this aggrandized energy of you being significant or special, or this idea of it's all an illusion, you don't need it anyways, or also dismissing responsibilities of the earthly realm and it doesn't matter anyways. All those kinds of energies of checking out, that would be what these Luciferic kind of false guidance energies and beings are representing. So if you ever have those kind of thoughts or energies, you can just check in and go, oh, okay, let's go back to center. And you can also check as you're listening to different spiritual teachers or doing different spiritual practices. And if you feel any of these tendencies, you can go, oh, okay, they have more of a Luciferic mentality or influence. And so I'm going to take the good parts and then maybe come back to center with the rest. So it's really helpful to do that. So that would be the side of this Luciferic light bearer energy. It's actually really bright, so bright that you kind of get drawn to the light and a bit of disassociation. Now, the Ahrimanic beings love the earthly plane, love the physical. They helped design it. And so there's this orientation towards materialism and the survival of the fittest and atheism and spirit not counting. And so that's the other side. It has this dense kind of energy. And you can see that a lot of the Western mainstream is this. It's like, all right, let's go get them. And it's this Ahrimanic influence, whereas the spiritual New Age community actually has more of an orientation towards this Luciferic energy. So we're working on this balance point. One of the tendencies and things to watch out for on the Ahrimanic side that could influence, say, the spiritual community is this idea of manipulation and lower magic and following the lower impulses and desires. And one of the things that this can manifest as is actually this deep love for this idea of the law of attraction, but it's the law of attraction to then just get the material goods, to conquer and to become better and more materialized in the physical world. So it's that utilization of, say, maybe a higher principle, but then distorting it into a lower energy. And another place is through the distortion of what the higher realms look like. So these beings might distort it to look more like the physical realm. So through this orientation, or if we have this kind of influence or false guidance, what can happen is that when we then transition to the light or having these more spiritual experiences, it's tainted or distorted to not actually look like what it actually is, which then when we go through these transitions or these gates, we might end up at a lower level of the spirit realm where we're wanting to go to a higher one. So that's another way that it can be misguided. So now that you have a little bit more of the flavor and characteristics, you can tune in and understand maybe when you're having influence from these particular beings. And for me, one of the things that was interesting, because I had only perceived this Satan, devil kind of energy and then this light God energy, I couldn't understand the Ahrimanic energy, which is a whole different frequency, and so it made that unavailable. And one of the things that happens without these the three pillars of this center path and then the Luciferic path and the Ahrimanic path, you can't as easily discern between the Michael, Archangel Michael, Christos energy and the Luciferian energy, because it just all seems like light. So light's good, right? Not necessarily. Not if it's pulling us out of the physical realm, because then we can't do what we came here to do and balance the polarity of bringing heaven on earth and integrating both of those into this space of oneness away from duality. So this is the beginning stage of discerning in the spiritual realm, aiming for this middle path of oneness, of grounded energy in the physical realm as well as spirit, and then also understanding these other influences, not to be scared of them or worried, but just knowing that when you connect and you feel that frequency of that middle path and those beings and your guides, you will be connected to that energy. And you might slip your energy and you come into contact with the other beings, but that's great because you'll know what they are. And then you can discern not to connect with them or understand what's going on. So this is meant to be incredibly empowering so that you can understand the different energies. Now, there are many other kinds of beings. There's more negative beings. There's higher beings, there's so many different kinds, but this is just the beginning to begin to feel that. So just tune in with yourself as you're making different decisions or as you're seeing thoughts or beliefs run through you when you're in your meditations or out in nature and you're feeling some kind of guidance. Is it self-aggrandizing of your ego, or is it pulling you to the earthly realm, or is it in this balanced space of just unconditional love and empowerment to who you are in a very balanced way? So I hope that this has been helpful. I really hope that you share these ideas with your friends and family so that this can become more of a commonplace conversation in our community. And if you like videos like this, please like, subscribe, hit the bell button so you get notifications every time I do new videos. I do new videos every Tuesday and Thursday, so be sure to come back for that, and be sure to check me out on Instagram for more daily updates. I hope that you have an amazing day, and I will see you soon.